thank you. And again, as I've just been trained, we all hold the mic up close, and we're privileged to have here with us today State Senator Nathan Dahm, who is running for the cesspool in Washington, D.C. Some of us wish he would run for Lieutenant Governor and take charge of that Senate that needs control.
That's an idea.
And then run for governor after Dan Fisher finishes his tour of duty. But I asked Nathan if he would just say a few words about his campaign today, and just a couple minutes if you could come up, and let's all welcome Senator Nathan Dahm.
Thanks, Bob. Am I holding up the mic up high enough? Are we good? Y'all can hear me in the back? Excellent. Well, thank you for having me out here. I believe most of you know me. If not, happy to meet you afterwards. I do have to get back to the Capitol at 1:30, or by 1:30. We are working on a budget, or rather, they are working on a... Anyways, you all are well aware of what's going on down at the Capitol. But I do have to be down there, so I still do have that role. I am still in that capacity as currently a state senator, but I am running for the U.S. Congress, the 1st Congressional District, which is Tulsa County, Washington County, Wagner County, and part of Creek and Rogers counties, but it's up there in the Tulsa area, Congressman Bridenstine's district. He's going to be leaving that potentially here soon. He got appointed by Trump to take over as director of NASA. If the Senate confirms him before the end of the year, it'll be a special election within 60 days. So I'm already out campaigning hard. We're firing on all cylinders. If he is not confirmed before the 1st of the year, it'll be the normal June primary election. So then we can slow things down a little bit, because I'll still have to be in session and still be doing those other things. So right now we're waiting to see what the election will be, but we're campaigning like it's going to be any day now. And so we have a great grassroots ground game, probably one of the best in the state, especially up there in that area. And you do have to have the grassroots in the 1st district to be able to win that. I know that most of you probably are working hard on a governor's race, and I fully understand how important the governor is. I think it would be great if we had a governor that understood federalism, that understood what we call states' rights, or the powers granted reserved to the states. I think that would be wonderful if we had that governor. But think how great it would be if we had somebody in Washington, D.C. that understood those same principles. Somebody in Washington, D.C. that did not look to D.C. as the solution, but realized that D.C. is the problem. Somebody in Washington, D.C. that was not trying to force upon the states regulations and all these things that, truthfully, I think that 25 to 30% of the legislation we pass at the state level every year, at minimum 25 to 30%, is because of something that the feds are forcing upon us. That we have to change our laws to conform with theirs. That's not the way it's supposed to be. So we need somebody in Washington, D.C. that can understand that when we have a strong governor here in Oklahoma that says no, how great would it be if we had somebody in Washington, D.C. that was backing them up and said no. Amen. This is not the proper core function or role or constitutional function of the federal government. Oklahomans do not want this. Our governor has said that he will not conform to this. Washington, D.C., we need to get out of this. Leave Oklahoma alone. We need people in every level of government that understands that. And right now, we really don't have that in our federal delegation. I realize that I'm not naive enough to think that I'm going to go up in Washington, D.C. and fix it the very first year. That's not my goal, that's not my intent. I realize that more than anything, I'm going to have to be playing defense. I'm going to have to stand in the gap for you all. That's what we need. I know several people said they wish I just stayed in the state legislature. But I'm also not going to be the type of person that's going to move to D.C., live in D.C., focus on D.C. When the news media asks me, hey, what do you think about what the legislature is doing right now? I will not punt and say, well, that's the legislative responsibility. I'm on the federal level. I'm going to say, as a citizen and resident of the state of Oklahoma, I hope that the legislature does not raise my taxes. I will say that as a congressman. I won't shy away from that. Because I understand how important that every area of government, every level of government operates correctly and works to protect our rights. We've had our caucus retreat recently talking about different things, and we had one speaker come in who talked about, he said he notices the members of Congress who have served in the state legislature versus those who have not. Because they don't realize how the states operate. They don't realize the functions of the states. I understand Oklahoma. I understand the principles that we Oklahomans hold dear. I understand how our legislative process works. I understand these things. So my goal in going to Washington, D.C. is to stand in the gap to do everything I can to empower our state legislature, to empower our citizens to protect you all. So I would ask for whatever support you can give. I know most of you do not live in the 1st Congressional District, but I know that you all are smart enough to realize that what I do in Washington, D.C. won't just impact the 1st Congressional District. The votes I take will impact not only the state of Oklahoma, but the entire country, right? I mean, those laws that are passed up there, in fact, impact the entire country, and truthfully, in a lot of ways, impact the world. So I would ask for your support, whatever you can give. Sharon is here. She's off the clock, but she is helping out. She has probably given everyone an envelope. She's bold, just like I am. So I will ask for whatever you can do. Every little bit helps. We have, like I said, we have a great ground game. We've knocked on thousands of doors, made thousands of calls. We've done everything we can as cheaply as possible. We will continue to do everything as cheaply as possible. But you know as well as I do that the TV stations don't say, well, because you've knocked on these many doors, we're just going to run a TV ad for you for free. It costs money. Same with mail. The U.S. Post Office is going to say, you know what, because you think we're inefficient and because you think that we're inadequate and the free market could handle it better, we're just going to send your mail out for free. No, they probably want to charge me more because I know how inefficient they are. But it does cost money to send out mail, it costs money to send out all those things. So I would ask that you do whatever you are able to today. Sharon will come back by afterwards and get your filled out envelopes. If you do know people in the Tulsa area, if you can let them know about the campaign, because obviously we need votes as well. Votes is ultimately what wins elections, but we do need money and support to get there as well. I know several of you have already donated previously. Thank you for your support. Thank you for support for what I've done in the state senate. Thank you for whatever you can support me with this now. And anything you can do, anything I can help with, please let me know. You know, I'm available. I'm open to whatever suggestions you have. I am here to serve you, to serve the people. My goal is to protect our rights, but I know I can't do that alone, so any help you can give, I would appreciate it. Thank you for letting me speak today. Thanks, Bob.
Nathan is a rare gem. I so appreciate him. There are very few like him, and Sharon is the same way if you've ever been in Nathan's office. She's fabulous and a real hoot to talk to. And Nathan, everyone in this room, I think, loves and endorses what you're doing, so I appreciate it.